Bridges are essential structures that connect people, cities, and even countries. They come in many shapes and sizes, and each one has its unique story. In this video, we'll explore some of the most interesting facts about bridges that you probably didn't know before. The world's oldest functioning bridge is the Archedico Bridge in Greece, which was built in the 13th century BC. The longest bridge in the world is the Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge in China, which is 102.4 miles long. The Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan is the world's tallest bridge, standing at 1,991 feet tall. The Charles Bridge in Prague, Czech Republic, is known for its many statues of saints, with a total of 30 statues lining the bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge in New York City was the first suspension bridge to use steel cables. The Tower Bridge in London, England, was built between 1886 and 1894 and is often mistaken for London Bridge. The Confederation Bridge in Canada is the longest bridge in the world to cross ice-covered water, spanning 8 miles across the Northumberland Strait. The Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California, was once painted in black and yellow stripes to make it more visible in foggy conditions. The Rialto Bridge in Venice, Italy, is the oldest bridge over the Grand Canal and is famous for its unique architecture. The Sidu River Bridge in China is the highest bridge in the world, with its deck standing at 1,627 feet above the ground. The world's widest bridge is the Verrazano Narrows Bridge in New York City, which has a width of 229 feet. The Bridge of Sighs in Venice, Italy, is named after the sighs of prisoners who were taken across it to the nearby prison. The world's oldest existing bridge is the Archedico Bridge in Greece, which was built in 1300 BC. The longest suspension bridge in the world is the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan, which spans 6,532 feet. The world's largest movable bridge is the Bascule Bridge in Amsterdam, which can be lifted to a height of 85 feet. The Millau Viaduct in France is the tallest bridge in the world, with a height of 1,125 feet. The world's widest bridge is the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia, with a width of 160 feet. The world's first iron bridge was built over the River Severn in England in 1779. The longest bridge in the world is the Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge in China, which spans 102.4 miles. The Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco was painted orange to increase its visibility in fog. The Tower Bridge in London is often mistakenly called London Bridge, which is actually a different bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge in New York City was the first bridge to use steel cables in its construction. The Forth Bridge in Scotland was the first major bridge to be made entirely of steel. The Mackinac Bridge in Michigan is one of the longest suspension bridges in the world that connects two different land masses. The Confederation Bridge in Canada is the longest bridge in the world that spans ice-covered waters. The famous Ponte Vecchio Bridge in Florence, Italy is lined with shops and has been in continuous use for over 600 years. The world's highest bridge is the Beipanjiang Bridge in China, with a height of 1,854 feet. The Tower Bridge in London was completed in 1894 and is still in use today. The Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol, England was designed by a Sambird Kingdom Brunel and completed in 1864. The Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel in Virginia is a complex of bridges and tunnels that spans the Chesapeake Bay for 23 miles. The Øresund Bridge in Denmark and Sweden is the longest combined road and rail bridge in Europe. The world's first cable-stayed bridge was the Tatara Bridge in Japan, which was completed in 1999. The Henderson Waves Bridge in Singapore is the highest pedestrian bridge in the city-state, with a height of 118 feet. The Nanpu Bridge in Shanghai, China has a circular loop at one end that allows ships to pass beneath it. The Newport Bridge in Rhode Island was once the longest suspension bridge in the world. The Sundial Bridge in California is a pedestrian bridge that doubles as a sundial. The Banpo Bridge in Seoul, South Korea has a water fountain that shoots up from beneath it, creating a beautiful light show at night. The world's longest suspension bridge is the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan, with a span of 1,991 meters, 6,532 feet. The world's first iron bridge was built in Coalbrookdale, England in 1779. The term, drawbridge, comes from the action of raising or drawing up the bridge to allow boats or ships to pass. The world's oldest bridge still in use today is the 2,700-year-old Jiaozhou Bridge in China. The Millau Viaduct in France, the tallest bridge in the world, stands at 343 meters, 1,125 feet, high. The Akashi Kaikyo Bridge was designed to withstand earthquakes of up to 8.5 magnitude on the Richter scale. The longest bridge in the United States is the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway in Louisiana, with a length of 38.4 kilometers, 23.8 miles. The world's narrowest suspension bridge is the Charles Couronne Suspension Bridge in Switzerland, which is only 65 centimeters, 25.6 inches, wide. The Humber Bridge in England, which opened in 1981, was the longest suspension bridge in the world until the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge was completed in 1998. The design of the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia was inspired by the Hell Gate Bridge in New York City. The Brooklyn Bridge in New York City, which opened in 1883, was the first bridge to use steel cables in its construction. The Tower Bridge in London is not actually a suspension bridge, but rather a combined bascule and suspension bridge. The Mackinac Bridge in Michigan, which opened in 1957, is the longest suspension bridge in the Western Hemisphere. The world's first rotating bridge, the Gateshead Millennium Bridge in England, was opened in 2001. The world's first bridge to be built using entirely pre-stressed concrete was the Walnut Lane Memorial Bridge in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Bridges have been around for centuries, and they continue to connect people and places to this day. From the oldest bridge in Greece to the highest bridge in China, each bridge has its unique story and place in history. We hope you enjoyed learning about these fascinating facts and appreciate the engineering marvels that are bridges. Don't forget to like and comment, subscribe to more videos like this. Thanks for watching.